Greetings, my name is Neosekken, and welcome back to my Let's Play of Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney. Now, a lot happened in the last episode, so I'll try to keep it brief. In the last episode, we started Chapter 4, and Edgeworth was arrested for a murder that he supposedly committed in the middle of a location called Gore Lake. And we see this incident occur during the opening cinematic. Edgeworth and some other gentlemen were out on a boat discussing something cryptic. Revenge is brought up, and before we can find out what that is, a shot rings out, a man falls out of the boat, and we see Edgeworth standing hunched over with a handgun in his hand. Next thing we know, we're in the office as Maya and Phoenix, seeing the news report about Edgeworth being arrested for the murder on the lake, at the lake, excuse me. So we decide to try to visit Edgeworth, try to get some information out of him, and see if he'd be willing to defend him, and he was not. He was pretty much saying flat out no to both of those things, being very uncooperative with me. So we took matters into our own hands, and with Gumshoe's help, when we managed to uncover a couple important things. Number one, there was a witness at the lake who apparently has some photographic evidence of when the shooting, at the moment when the shooting occurred, courtesy of a camera setup that she had, and that she's going to be our big witness in today's trial, and who's going to give us testimony along with the photographic evidence showing what happened. Number two, we learned that Edgeworth has connections to the DL6 incident, which, if you remember from Chapter 2, was an incident which Maya's mother served as a spirit medium for a police case to try to find some kind of lead as to who killed the victim. And Wright got involved and basically outed Maya's mother as a fraud, and it ended up destroying the Faye clan's reputation. What's Edgeworth's connection to this case is that his father was the murder victim in this case, Gregory Edgeworth, a defense attorney. Finally, as for the victim in this current case, he happens to be the same defense attorney who defended the supposed murderer of Gregory Edgeworth during the DL6 incident and managed to get him declared not guilty of the crime. He's apparently our victim for this present day case. So we got two figures from the DL6 incident meeting up in the present day, and one kills the other, seemingly for some kind of revenge. On the surface, this looks like as though Edgeworth might be wanting some kind of revenge against the defendant, who is called John Hammond, if memory serves, for getting the suspect of his father's murder declared innocent. But, well, if the previous cases of this game up until now has given us any indication, it's to not trust everything that we see. So we're going to see if we can uncover a little bit of truth of what happened during the moment of the murder in today's trial. So let's just go ahead and get things started. December 26, 9:44 a.m. District Court Defendant Lobby Number 2. Karma. That's right. Manfred von Karma. He's the best prosecutor there is. Quite the name. He hasn't lost a case in his 40-year career. 40 years straight of prosecuting and never once having lost a single trial. To me, I don't know about you, but to me, with having a win record like that in this kind of profession for that long, to me it's dead obvious that this guy's not above playing dirty in order to make sure that he maintains a perfect win record, because otherwise, how possible is it for anybody in the legal profession to maintain this kind of win record for this long using fair means? I think it's just flat out impossible. So, this one sentence here already pretty much tells me what I'm undoubtedly going to be in for. A man who will just be absolutely dirty in the courtroom. He's a god of prosecution, right? A god. Yeah, well, I'm gonna bring down a god. With my bare finger! Not a single case? He'll do anything to get a guilty verdict. Anything. Sounds like someone else I know, Edgeworth. You don't understand. I mean, he'll really do anything. Manfred von Kammer is a man to be feared. With this kind of reputation, I can't help but wonder, why is a man like him even allowed to prosecute if it's pretty much well known throughout the entire profession that he's willing to do virtually everything under the fucking sun in order to make sure that he gets his win? That doesn't really sound like the sort of person who should be prosecuting a case if you're looking for just verdicts. I mean, I'm just saying, you know? I think his mere presence here, his mere presence in the legal system, it would just pretty much show a very clear issue with the whole fucking system. But that's just me. That's quite a claim coming from someone who forges evidence. He taught me what it really means to prosecute. Well, now we know where you get it from. What? Just picture a prosecutor as vicious as me, multiplied by a factor of 10. That's okay. I'm pretty sure I can still poke him silly with my pointer finger. So was he your teacher then, Mr. Edgeworth? Something like that. And now he's trying to get you found guilty? What a creep! Oh, wait. Maybe he's planning on losing on purpose to help you out. Sure, let's go with that. Not a chance. He hasn't lost in 40 years. 40 years! He's as ruthless as me, times 20. The multiplication factor has been doubled. It's pretty ruthless. Like I said, he's a god among prosecutors. I get it, I need to watch my toes. Can we stop kissing his ass for a minute? I guess that's something like Mia was to me. Speaking of Mia... Maya. Uh-huh. We could really be using Mia's help right now. Don't you think? Oh. I can't. Sorry. I tried. I really tried, but I couldn't reach. You couldn't reach? I think it's because I haven't been training. My powers are weak again. Oh man, what bad timing. It's alright, I'm sure we'll be fine. I'm really sorry. I'll try my best. I just simply need you to give me some lighthearted sass when the situation calls for it. That will immediately boost my mood every time something goes wrong. I hope so. What are you whispering about? Oh, it's nothing. Well, it's time. Let's head in. Here we go. First trial of the new chapter. December 26, 10 a.m. District Court, courtroom number 3. Court is now in session for the trial of Mr. Miles Edgeworth. The defense is ready, Your Honor. He's a very impatient-looking one, this man. I bet he must be real fun to attend dinner parties with. Mr. von Karma, is the prosecution ready? Fool. You seriously think that I would stand here were I not completely prepared? Right, my apologies. He's even got the judge scared. Very well, your opening statement, please. The quietest opening statement I've ever heard. Never mind, I guess he was just pausing for dramatic effect. Decisive evidence. A decisive witness. What else could possibly be required? Nothing, of course. That should be fine. No, there is a proper legal procedure that you have to follow. You should not be above the fucking law, old man. The prosecution may call its first witness. What's with this guy? Is he royalty or something? I'm supposed to fight against this. I call the detective in charge of this case. Detective Dick Gumshoe. Okay, Gumshoe's first. We'll see how this goes. It's gonna go badly. Describe the incident. Now! Yes, sir! Detective Gumshoe looks nervous. Please take a look at the map. The murder happened late Christmas Eve, around midnight. There was one boat in the very middle of the lake. There were 2 men on the boat. Now there happened to be a woman camping here on the edge of the lake. At 10 a.m., she heard 2 pistol shots. Then the boat started to move. It went towards the boat, towards the boat rental shop. Overhead map of Gourd Lake. Okay, got that. Testify to the court about the arrest. Now! Wait! Mr. Von Karma. Yes? Actually, I'm the one who's supposed to be handling these proceedings. Wrong. There's only one thing you need to do here. You will slam down your gavel and say the word guilty. That is your role! Yes, of course. You're quite right. Have a spine, old man! No, he's not! For fuck's sake, man, you're the goddamn judge. Threaten him with your gavel. Whack him like a mole. Anyway, we gotta listen to Sweet Shoe's testimony about the arrest of Edgeworth. The arrest. A man called into the station around 30 minutes after midnight. We headed to the scene of the crime as fast as we could. That's where we found Mr. Edgeworth. Now, I don't suspect him of anything at all, but the next morning a body was found in the lake. So we had to arrest Mr. Edgeworth. I see. Very well. Begin your cross-examination, attorney. Now! I repeat, Judge, you do have the goddamn gavel. A man called into the station around 30 minutes after midnight. Okay, tell me about that. You received a call from a man. Yeah, so it's 30 minutes after midnight. So the time of death was sometime on the 24th or 25th, according to Robert's autopsy report. This photo that we got from Hart was taken at 12:15 a.m. So there's a 15-minute time gap between when this shot supposedly rang out and when a man called in the actual thing. Yep. Well, you said there was a woman camping there. She was the one who heard the 2 gunshots, right?
Objection.
Your objection is so damn deep, man. Do you gargle gravel for breakfast or something? That woman and the man who called in the report are 2 different people, obviously. Different people. There were 2 witnesses. Their testimonies were quite similar, however. Today I've summoned the woman who was camping. Lotta Hart. What happened next, detective? We headed to the scene of the crime as fast as we could. How long was it between receiving the report and your arrival at the lake? Well, I'd say it was about 3 minutes. That's pretty fast. Our motto for the month is, get there quick. Detective! You will refrain from casually revealing department secrets. What's so bad about that? I think that's a motto that every business and government body should entail. Yes, sir. Sorry, sir. I look forward to your next year's salary review. God, he's going for the frickin' year thing instead of Edgeworth's monthly. Yep. I totally believe you now, Edgeworth. He's more ruthless than you by a factor of 10 times 20. So much to look forward to these days. It's okay, Sweet Shoe. I'll give you $1 after this trial's over. This is no time for dejective daydreaming. Continue. Yes, sir. That's where we found Mr. Edgeworth. What was Mr. Edgeworth like when you saw him then? Well, from what I saw, he looked pretty relaxed. Not like a murderer at all, really. Detective! The court requires the facts, not your opinion. Well, I did just ask for a description of what he seemed like to him. So, are you saying that I'm not allowed to ask this question? How many years have you been on the force? Facts only, Detective. Hard, cold, objective facts. Yes, sir. He's got his share of objections. Yes, he does. And I object. What do you have to say about this? Why didn't you think he was suspicious? You should know. We have a deep, trusting relationship with the prosecutors. And I guess you object to the deep relationship, huh, buddy? You not a fan of deep relationships? Detective, the court isn't interested in your musings. Deep, trusting, poppycock. I've never heard so many flippant comments from an active detective on the force. Detective Gumshoe doesn't look so good. Continue! Now! But the next morning, a body was found in the lake. Okay. Did you find any clues on the body? A single bullet was recovered from the body. So there was 2 shots that rang out and only 1 bullet was found. Why is that? Care to offer me an explanation, Sweet Shoe? He was shot through the heart, fatally. Judge! Here's the bullet. It didn't strike bones, so its shape is well preserved. Very well. The court accepts this bullet into evidence. A pistol bullet found in the victim's body, fired from a .22 caliber pistol. Okay. I don't see what I can compare this bullet to in my court record, so I'll just leave it be for now. Why is that? Well, we found the murder weapon in the boat. The murder weapon? A pistol. Detective Gumshoe. That is a vital piece of information. Please revise your testimony. Right. Sorry, Your Honor. Well, I'm glad you're finally taking charge of something, Judge. The murder weapon we found in the boat was decisive evidence. Let me press on this. What about the pistol made it decisive evidence? I don't like that smile. It's bad in HD. He has the same evil laugh as Edgeworth. There were fingerprints on the pistol found in the boat. They were clear prints from Mr. Edgeworth's right hand. What? That is bad, yes, but nothing we didn't already know from the opening cinematic. Order! Order! So Mr. Edgeworth's fingerprints were found on the murder weapon. Yes, Your Honor. Judge! This is the weapon in question. accepted into evidence. Okay, pistol. The murder weapon, 22 caliber, fired 3 times. Bears prints from Edgeworth's right hand. So, the gun actually now fired 3 times according to this. Only 1 bullet went into the victim and killed him. Another one has vanished into the ether, but we did hear it. And a third time, we never heard this third shot. So, yeah, there's something odd with this pistol. Very, very odd. Members of the court. We now have the pistol used in the murder, and the bullet found in the body. Detective! Yes, sir! Was the bullet found in the body fired from this pistol? Yes. The ballistic markings on the bullet match the pistol. Hey, Nick. What does he mean, ballistic markings? Well, in short, think of them as like fingerprints, but made by a gun when the bullet is ejected from the barrel when it fires. Each gun has unique markings inside the barrel that has unique little... No, not carbines, but basically each gun is very unique in when it's manufactured, in the sense to where when a bullet is fired from within the gun and ejected through the barrel, it will scrape along the inside the barrel and leave markings that are unique to the interior. And those markings will be on the bullet. So you can use those markings to essentially match a bullet from a gun that it was fired from. So hence, it's kind of like fingerprints for a gun. I don't know if I might have butchered that explanation a bit, but that's essentially what it is. Shocking. To imagine someone here does not know something as basic as ballistic markings. Nick, he's glaring at me. He seems to... Just relax, Maya. That seems to be his default facial expression. Very well. I'll explain. Actually, Judge! You do it. Me? Yes, he's apparently feeling too lazy here to perfectly explain to me ballistic markings. Ballistic markings are like the fingerprints of a gun. The barrel leaves distinctive marks on each bullet it fires. You can examine these ballistic fingerprints to see which gun fired the shot. He did a better explanation on it than I did. I give you props, Judge. It's quite accurate. Indeed. This leads to one inevitable conclusion. The bullet found in the victim's heart was without doubt fired from this pistol. This pistol, which, as you may recall, was covered with the defendant's own fingerprints. Order! Order! This is bad. This makes it look like Edgeworth did it. Well, Judge, I'd say it's almost decisive, yes. Honestly, I could declare a verdict at this point. However, you wish to hear the witness speak, no doubt. Very well. I am somewhat fatigued, and so I will take a brief break. I will call my witness after the recess, which will last 10 minutes. Judge! Yes? What are you doing? A 10-minute recess! Now! But wait, Just bang your flimsy gavel and get on with it, man! Yes! Ahem. This court will take a 10-minute recess. Who's running this court anyway? Well, apparently not Santa Claus. Poor Santa. It's okay, Santa. I have your back. Mostly. December 26, 11:09 a.m. District Court Defendant Lobby Number 2. Edgeworth! What's going on here? Your fingerprints were on the murder weapon. foggy photo makes one thing clear. The only one who could have shot that man was the person in the photo. True. Was that you in the boat? Yes, it was me. What? But you must believe me. I didn't shoot him. Then who did? I don't know. You don't know? Weren't you right there? I heard a gunshot from very close by. Then, the other man fell from the boat. I can't say why, but I thought at the time that he had shot himself. You mean it was a suicide? That's the only explanation I can come up with. Huh. How am I going to convince anyone of that? Say, Maya. Huh? What? Any progress with Mia? Oh. Sorry. It's no good. I know. I'm no good for anything, am I, Nick? That's not true. You're good for Charlie. And you're good comic relief. And you give me ideas when I'm lost. If I can't call my sister, I might as well not be here, right? Yeah, you're useless. Get the fuck out of here. I got this. No, I need you here. No, of course not. I need you here. And even if you were useless, I'd keep you around because, well, moral support. I can see you're always trying to help out. Even if you don't actually help. It's a thought that counts, right? It's okay, Nick. You don't have to make me feel better. Yes, I fucking do. You're too hard on yourself a lot of the time. I don't know anything about trials or defense. What's more, I'm a spirit medium who can't even contact spirits. Well, that's okay. I understand you're in training. You gotta get your practice in somehow, right? So let's do it on the job. Everyone has their off days. I mean, I've just been getting lucky lately. But you never know when my luck is going to run out. You probably really shouldn't say that right now, considering the situation we're in. Just saying. Really? Whoa! Right! Don't jinx this case any more than it already is! It's bad for my heart. See? You might end up killing Edgeworth yourself before we even get a verdict. Oh? Oh. Sorry. Whoops. It's okay, Edgewort. I got your warty heart. Court is back in session. Mr. Von Karma, call your witness. Yes. Will Miss Lotta Hart take the stand? Hey there, Lotta Hair. Lotta Hart, you are a research student at a university. That I am? Good. Begin by telling us what you saw the night of the incident. And don't add anything trivial or subjective. Understand? I don't think she approves of not being able to add shit. Y'all need to learn some manners. Understand? You see, if this was Edgeworth, he'd be hunched over on his desk looking very disgruntled. Not this asshole, though. Yeah, I understand. Very well. Your testimony, please. Witness's account. Alright, what do you got for us, Lotta Hair? It was Christmas Eve, just after midnight, I reckon. I was in my car. I heard this bang come up from the lake. When I looked out the window, I saw two gents in a boat. Then there was another bang. There wasn't a nary a thing on the lake but that boat. Enough. Huh? Judge! She happened to take a photo of the incident. This is that photo. Accept it as evidence. Well, this is a surprise. This looks like the very moment of the murder. Order! I will remove people from this courtroom if I do not have order immediately. As the witness testified, she looked at the lake when she heard the shot. There were no other boats on that lake. So the man in the boat with the victim must have been the one who shot him. Yes, it was the defendant, Miles Edgeworth. Order! 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 I will have order! Well, Judge, the evidence is decisive. I got cross-examined, bitch! I have very little doubt about this case. Very well. This court finds the defendant. Don't get a hold of yourself, man! Well, wait, Your Honor. I haven't cross-examined the witness yet. A cross-examination. We have photographic proof. What question can there possibly be? Plenty. It's foggy. You can't really make out the people in the boat. This photo is worth 1,000 words, and they all read guilty. You lose. Or do you claim to have found a contradiction in her testimony? Well, there's one thing I'm thinking about, actually. She did mention at the very end that there wasn't anything else on that lake, but I'm pretty sure the reason she was there is because she's looking for Gordy here. Which only showed up, if memory serves, when a loud bang is heard on the lake. Or at least that's what the article claimed here. A loud bang was heard and then suddenly that thing showed up. Now I just gotta simply point this out in the testimony. But I don't recall if it's this one I got to press on, because I am certain at this point that is why she's there. She's not there to photograph meteors or comets or anything like that, like she claims. Again, you could just look at the entire setup that she had there, and it's blatantly obvious that's not why she was there. Anyway, let's continue. Very well. If you have to, you may cross-examine the witness. You only flounder and ask meaningless questions. You will fail to find anything. And then, I'll have you held in contempt of court. So, you're gonna hold me in contempt of court for doing my damn job. Okay. You do you then, asshat. Nick? Contempt? Contempt of court, you know? I guess I understand. Well, what are you going to do? Do you really think there was a contradiction to facts in her testimony? I think there was. I think I know one little thing. Wow, I'm impressed, Nick. I didn't notice anything. Right, let's take him on. Yeah, got a bad feeling about this. I understand. I'll cross-examine the witness. Very well. I pray for your sake this isn't a waste of time. I hear your prayers, Judge, and they will be answered. Okay, it was Christmas Eve, just after midnight. Just after midnight, you say? In other words, it was no longer Christmas Eve, but Christmas Day. Huh? Yeah, well, yes. I know you want to find contradictions, but really? I hope your next contradiction is a little more relevant to the trial. Witness, continue your testimony. Give me a chance to thoroughly cross-examine, man. Hold your horses. You're in your car. Why were you camping there anyway? I'm a research student at my university. I was taking pictures to use in my research. What research? This all sounds suspicious. Let's press further. Miss Hart, could you be more specific about your research? Would you stop objecting to everything, you freaking twig? What does the witness's motive in camping by the lake have to do with this case? Well, she did happen to be at a very convenient spot to take a photo of the moment of the murder. There is that, you know. The answer is nothing. I object to this line of questioning. Objection sustained. Wait now, I'm the one who says that. Well, then say it already. Objection sustained. Thanks for nothing, Your Honor. I'm gonna enjoy wiping that smug, stupid grin off your face, old twig. I heard this bang come up from the lake. So, you weren't looking at the lake at that time? Nope. I looked after I heard that noise. She said that already. I asked you to find contradictions, not leisurely chat with the witness. Ugh. When I looked out the window, I saw two gents in a boat. Okay? Could you clearly see the two men? Just look at the picture. Clear enough for you? Nope! Not by a long shot. Wait a second. I wasn't asking you about the photo. I was asking if you saw the two men. Yeah, well, of course. You don't sound so certain. The witness testified that she saw them. There's also a photo. You best look elsewhere for your precious contradictions. You were awfully quick to jump in on that one. He jumped in quick. He's hiding something. This is probably my weak spot right here. And I need to present the lake photo. But I'm going to press the other stuff real fast. Just in case something else pops up. Were you watching the very moment the shot rang out? Well, yeah, sure. You're asking meaningless questions. Meaningless! Yeah, well, you're meaningless. Contradictions, Mr. Wright, not meaningless babble. Karma, I think I hate you. She's trying to keep me from talking to the witness. To what end? There wasn't nary a thing on that lake but that boat. Are you sure about that? Yeah, sure as a country gal can be. Sounds pretty sure. Okay, let's press further. How come you're so sure? Well, heck, I scanned the whole lake. Scanned the whole lake. Almost sounds like she was more interested in the lake than the boat. Okay, I think I was right. I might be right on the money with my original assumption that this is the statement that's my weakness. Miss Hart, you object! Mr. Wright, the witness has answered the question in full. No need for further questions. Objection sustained. That's what I'm... Sustained! Yes, of course. Oh, great. Enough! I think we've heard all we need to hear, Mr. Wright. It seems you are unable to find a contradiction in a testimony worth noting. But Your Honor! You keep your promise. Mr. Wright, I'm afraid that I'll have to penalize any further outbursts by holding you in contempt of court. And if that happens, you'll have to leave the courtroom immediately. Understood. I understand perfectly well, Dracula. Nick. Lotta's testimony is fishy, Nick. Real fishy. I know what you mean. But if I can't say anything, what can I do? Present shit, man! I believe we've covered the evidence sufficiently to make a decision. Then, pass your judgment. Very well. Mr. Isles Edgeworth, please take the stand. Okay, who held it? Who was holding it? Who was that? It was me. Maya. Is something wrong? Do you need to use the facilities? No, I do not. Lotta Hart, your testimony stinks. It's unclear whether you were actually looking at the lake. It's highly doubtful that you actually saw Mr. Edgeworth. Tell us the truth. This is a matter of life or death. Lotta! Did you really see Mr. Edgeworth that night? Did you see him fire that pistol? You will stand down. The court does not acknowledge the defense's outburst. Answer me, Lotta. What's the big idea? Treat me like some kind of criminal. I saw him. I swear it. I saw Edgeworth. Enough! Judge. Declare the defense in contempt of court. Yes. Yes, of course. I'm sorry, but you were warned. Guard! Escort Mr. Wright out of the courtroom. He is in contempt of court and must leave. No. No! Wait. I was the one who made the outburst, Your Honor. Nick is innocent. Ha! What's the difference? All that remains is for the guilty verdict to be declared. Isn't that right, Mr. Phoenix Wright? Wrong! Wrong! What? Did you hear what Miss Hart just said? She says she clearly saw Mr. Edgeworth. That was not in the testimony! That changes her testimony, and I have a right to cross-examine her again. Got you now, buddy. Order! 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 You're in contempt of court. It's too late for wild claims. Judge, sustain my objection. I'm sorry, Mr. Von Karma, but I cannot. What? Miss Lotta Hart has made a new testimony. The defense has a right to cross-examine her again. But he is in contempt of court. No, I am. If you're going to arrest someone, arrest me. Very well. Maya Fey, you will leave the courtroom immediately. Nick, I did what I could. You have to do the rest. Good luck. Maya, you are a lifesaver, Maya. I will get you a double burger after this trial is over. I care not for this melodrama. Listen well, Mr. Wright. I do not tolerate badgering of my witnesses. I'm running out of time. I better find a contradiction here or else. Mr. Wright, begin your cross-examination. Okay, that last statement. What do you got for me? I saw clear as day the man on the boat was Edgeworth. Yeah, well, that's not what this little photo tells me. Well, what about the other man? You cannot expect to be allowed to blithely ignore your promise, Mr. Wright. I believe you claimed there was a contradiction in the witness's testimony. Well, find it! If you can. Ah, shit. It looks like they weren't bluffing about the penalty. Mr. Wright, I have to assign you a penalty. Because, I mean, hey, sometimes they're just bluffing. In my defense. Damn. That's it? Uh-oh, I don't know if I can find anything that... But I can't squander Maya's efforts either. Well... Eat facts. Objection! Got you. Got you, Miss Hart. Finally. What? You got what? Look at this photograph. The photo I took? The very same. There's something I want you to see in this photo. It's quite clearly visible. The fog, Miss Hart. So... This picture was taken with professional high-quality film, correct? Doesn't really amount to much if you can't see shit. Yet even I could not capture the faces of the men on the boat. Yet you claim you saw Mr. Edgeworth. How? What? What? Mr. Wright has a point. That's why I told her not to say that in her testimony. Please. Oh, look at you. Doctoring the witnesses' testimonies just like Edgewort. You really are his teacher. Yet, now she has said it, Mr. Von Karma. How can you possibly see Mr. Edgeworth? How could you possibly see Mr. Edgeworth? Explain yourself! Miss Hart. What? Could you see the defendant that night? Of course. I said I could, and I meant I could. Then please testify as to the circumstances of your sighting. I did it. I finally found a hole in Von Karma's carefully vague testimony. Okay, how Edgeworth was seen. Okay, show me. Or rather, tell me. You're right. It was a cold night and the fog was thick as grits. So once I was finished up setting up my camera, I got back in the car. Still, I brought my binoculars with me. When I heard that noise out on the lake, I looked with my binoculars. See? No problem. You used binoculars. Very well. You may begin your cross-examination, Mr. Wright. This one better be good. Well, if memory serves, I generally know what I have to do with this particular statement, but I don't want to screw up, so I'm gonna play it safe. You're right. Okay, that's thick. So, how could you see Edgeworth? Now just hold your horses for a second. You hasty Yankee types never find a gal where I'm from. Defense attorneys have trouble with that as it is. Is that a fact, Judge? Nobody loves me. It's okay. I'm sure you'll find love someday, Phoenix. Just probably not anytime soon. So once I was finished setting up the camera, you got back to your car. Okay. Your camera. Yeah, it's got an automatic. An automatic objection. What an interesting camera. The issue we are concerned with here is Miss Hart seeing Mr. Edgeworth. The camera has nothing to do with this at all. And I call bullshite. Objection sustained. When you're answering more of my questions. Still, I brought my binoculars with me, okay? Binoculars. Yeah, binoculars. Yesterday you mentioned that you were out looking for shooting stars, correct? Well, yeah. Wouldn't you need a telescope, not binoculars for that? Well, I got you there. I got doubts about your camera, too. Was that really to take pictures of meteor showers? The camera is irrelevant to this case. Except it took the fucking photo of the supposed moment of murder, genius. You can't say that for certain. Mr. Wright, is the camera really relevant to this case? If you believe it is, you may continue with this line of questioning. But know this, if you find nothing of this, there will be consequences. Well, Mr. Wright? Yeah, let's press further. This is make it or break it time. The camera is of utmost importance, Your Honor. It is perhaps the key to this entire case. Therefore, I will continue my line of questioning. Wow, maybe I went a little overboard there. Very well. Miss Hart, you will testify to the court about the camera. Yeah, I hear ya. The camera was set to take pictures of a meteor shower. And I got you here, because it's actually meant to take a picture when a loud noise is detected, and it's facing the lake. So, eat it. You were photographing shooting stars. That's a lie. Says who? Me! I saw the camera you set up yesterday. It was pointed directly at the lake. You have to point a camera upwards to take photos of the stars, Miss Hart. Unless you were looking to capture the reflection of the stars in the lake. You ever think of that, feeny weenie? Mr. Wright, what are you driving at? The witness was not at the lake to photograph shooting stars, Your Honor. Well then, what exactly was she photographing? I got your evidence right here. Your Honor, take a look at this. What was Miss Hart trying to photograph at the lake? Gordy. Miss Hart, this is what you were trying to photograph. What's this? A newspaper article? Gordy. Sighting at Gourd Lake. Well, Miss Hart, I never heard of no lake monster. You got proof or something? Let's see you prove I was down at the lake trying to photograph this Gordy. Well, I have proof. I have it. Proof. Intriguing. Very well, let's see it. And no joking around this time, please. What is the proof that the witness was trying to photograph Gordy the lake monster? The freaking article again. The proof is in this article about Gordy the lake monster. According to this article, when Gordy breaks through the water, it makes a loud noise, which is why you set up your camera with that microphone. You had it set to respond to loud noises. And that's how you got in this picture when the pistol fired. Order! Order! I see. I too thought it was a little strange. Yeah, sure. My sentiments exactly. Well, Miss Hart, you were camping there to try and take a photo of Gordy, weren't you? Yeah. Not bad. Are all you lawyers that smart? And yeah, we apparently can't get dates. I guess brains don't mount much to anything when you're a lawyer. So, smart boy, I was down there trying to photograph Gordy. You got me. So what? Huh? That don't change what I saw, does it? Exactly! Well, you just used several precious minutes of our time to prove is nothing more than that the witness is an idiot who thinks monsters exist. Von Karma, are you badgering the witness? I was told not to do that. How come you can? Hey! But, as she so succinctly said, so what? It changes nothing. Not true. You were hiding the whole thing about Gordy for some reason. I know it. What could it have been? Whatever it is, I'm getting to the bottom of this. What reason would he have to hide it at this point? I don't quite. Let's continue the testimony. Just see what happens for now. Miss Hart, why did you hide the fact that you were searching for Gordy from the court? Please revise your testimony. Right. Fine, I'll testify. It won't change nothing, though. Something will change. It has to. And I'm going to spot it. Lotta's new testimony. Okay, the music's picking up a bit. We're getting close to this. Actually, I'm not a research student at a university. I'm an investigative photographer. Shocker. Totally had me fooled. Imagine what a scoop it'd be if I got a picture of that monster. That's why I was camping out by the lake. That's all I was hiding. When I heard the bang, I looked straight out the lake. There wasn't much else to look at, so I just watched that boat the whole time. Then I saw a flash, one near one of the men's hands, and I heard another gunshot. I was looking right at the boat the whole time, crossed my heart, and hoped to fry. Yeah, I highly doubt that. You just pretty much admitted that you were there searching for Gordy, and that you had and we also know that you had your camera set up to detect loud noises and go off when they're detected. So if you heard it, I doubt you'd be paying much attention to some little boat on the lake. You'd be scanning the whole freaking lake for Gordy. Well, Mr. Wright, you may examine the witness.
Objection!
The witness's testimony is unchanged from before. Whether she is a research student or a photographer has no bearing on this case. There is no need to waste more of our time with another pointless cross-examination.
Objection!
I claim the defense's right to cross-examine the witness, Your Honor. Akama's are up to something. I know it. He doesn't want me to cross-examine her because... Why? Was there a contradiction? Yep. Very well. You may begin the cross-examination. You seem sure of yourself. Has something in mind. Ha! That would be a first. Ha ha, very funny. What do you think I've been doing up until now, asshole? You understand that this is your last chance at cross-examination, Mr. Wright. If there is no problem with the testimony this time, we will let the witness leave. I will announce my verdict at that time, Mr. Wright. Understood. Yes, Your Honor. Alright. Okay. Find some sort of contradiction in this testimony. I won't be able to beat Von Karma any other way. There has to be something. Okay, so it's... I think it's this one I got to present something. There wasn't much else to look at, so I just watched that boat the whole time. And I present the Gordy article. Miss Hart, were you really looking at that boat? What's with you? Of course I was looking at it. It was the only thing out there. Any normal person be looking at it. Except for you, you'd be looking for Gordy. I agree. Any normal person would. But you are far from normal. What? You all want to step over here and say that? Gladly. You were camping at the lake to take a picture of Gordy. Think about it. What would you do if you heard a loud noise? You'd be scanning the lake for any sign of Gordy, that's what. You wouldn't give a boat a second thought. Order! Continue, Mr. Wright. You testified that you were watching the boat through binoculars. However, you wouldn't need binoculars to watch that boat. You needed them to search for Gordy. And that's what you were doing. Can I hold you in contempt of court for lying on the stand? Well? Well, now y'all mention it. I did sort of take my binoculars and kind of scan the lake a bit. I mean, Gordy might be out there and all. Miss Hart! Are you saying that you were not watching the boat then? Sorry, y'all. I just made your witness unreliable, Twig. Suck it! I wasn't fibbing, really. I was just... I thought, you know, I could be a witness to a murder and all. Irresponsible. You embody that word so hard right now. I kind of got excited. I was sure I was watching that boat. Till now. This is totally uncalled for. But hey! You got the photograph. You got proof. Still, we can't see who is shooting who in this. Right. That's why I took this photo in. Witness. That's enough. What did you take the photo and do, huh? What are you keeping her from saying, Dracula? You've had a long day. Shut your pie hole. Shut my what? What was she going to say? She took the photo and... What? Wait a second. She even had a photograph to prove it. But you really can't tell from the photo who was shooting. That's why she said she was going to enlarge the photo. Like that would actually clear anything up in real life. She said it'll drop the quality a mite, but it should let us see who's who. She enlarged that photo. I won't Von Karma let her show it. I've got a hunch. I bet that enlarged photo shows something bad for Von Karma. This is my chance. If I'm wrong, though, it'll mean prison for Edgeworth. Or worse. What should I do? Let's make her show it. Miss Hart, look at this photograph. You enlarged this photograph, did you not? Yeah, I did. Why has that enlargement not been presented to the court?
Objection!
Because it does not exist. What are y'all talking about? You were the one who told me not to show it in court in the first place. You old fool. What's the meaning of this, Mr. Von Karma? Feeling the pressure, Drac? Well, you should. I'm closing in on you. Miss Hart. Show the photo to the court. Show us the enlargement.
Objection!
The prosecution objects to the submission of this evidence. Objection denied. Suck it! The witness will show the enlargement to the court. Here it is. Are you guys seeing what I'm seeing? The shooter. Which hand is he holding the gun? I'm sure you guys can figure this out and what significance this means with some of the evidence that we got here in the court record. And while you're doing that, I will steadily work my way towards presenting my contradiction. We still cannot see who is firing in this. It could be the defendant. Or maybe it's not. Regardless, I'll accept this as evidence. Okay. Happy now, Mr. Wright? There has to be something. You asked for the enlargement. You got the enlargement. I know you're trying to put on a good poker face, old man, but I got you. And little good it has done for any of us. That's why I requested she not show it. I suppose this means that the cross-examination is over, obviously. Then I'd like to close the cross-examination of Miss Lotta Hart. And none too soon. That was a flagrant waste of my time. Mr. Von Karma, do you have anything to add? I stated everything I needed to when this trial began. Decisive evidence. A decisive witness. What else could possibly be required? Nothing, of course. Then I believe it's time for me to declare my verdict. Wait, it's not supposed to go like this. There has to be a clue in this photo. Somewhere. Come on, man, it's right in front of you. This is bad. Real bad. What should I do? Object to the enlargement. Your Honor, there is something decidedly strange with this enlargement. What might that be? Mr. Wright, you will show the court what you mean. What about this photo was strange? Okay, here goes nothing. It's okay, Judge. I'll give you a hand in figuring this shit out.
Take that!
Here, Your Honor. The shooter? I'm not sure I understand. What about the shooter is strange? Look at the hand holding the pistol, Your Honor. The hand. That hand directly contradicts another piece of evidence. This man's left hand does what? Let me show you. I'll show you the evidence that left hand contradicts. This pistol bears fingerprints from Edgeworth's right hand. Now I'll ask again. What hand was the shooter holding the pistol in?
Take that!
The evidence is clear. The man in this photograph is holding that pistol in his left hand. However, prints on the murder weapon were from Edgeworth's right hand. Ergo, the man shooting the pistol in this photograph is not Mr. Edgeworth. Gotcha. Now that everyone in the courtroom has quieted down, I'd like to reconvene this court of law. Mr. Wright. Yes, Your Honor. You have given us definitive proof today. We now know that it was not Mr. Edgeworth who fired the pistol that night. However, this leaves us with a rather large problem. If Mr. Edgeworth didn't do it, then who shot our victim? Precisely. As we have seen, there were no other people on the lake that night. Who but the defendant could have shot the victim? Larry did it! When something smells, it's usually the butts. Victim himself. There's only one explanation remaining. The man who shot the victim was none other than the victim himself. Order! Order! So, you were saying that the victim committed suicide? Yes, Your Honor. I can think of no other explanation. Indeed, that does seem to be the only remaining option. And what do you have to object to now, Von Drack? I'm so very, very sorry, Mr. Wright. But suicide is out of the question. What? An examination of the victim's wound reveals the distance at which she was shot. Distance? Yeah, there's also that little snippet about gunshot wounds. Basically, you can determine where a shot was fired, from what distance, and even what angle by examining the gunshot wounds on the body. And how you do that is, well, you just examine the angle of the hole. Like, say, let's say then that you were like 3 feet in front of the victim that you were going to shoot. But you shoot the victim, but the gun goes down from his chest up into straight out of his lower back. The only way that a shot like that could happen is if you were like 9 feet tall or something like that, or if you were someplace well above the victim, even further away, and was able to shoot them at such a location to where the bullet would enter their body from their chest cavity out their lower back. I hope that makes sense here. But yeah, distance can determine determine a number of things based on the wound. Yeah, you could just determine a lot of things based on a gunshot's wound, is what I'm trying to say. The victim was clearly shot from further than a meter away. Meter? That's 3 feet. There is no way it could have been suicide. Order. Order! Mr. Von Karma, are you sure of the accuracy of your data? But, if that's true, let's look at the gun again. The gun says it was fired 3 times. If Edgeworth didn't actually shoot the man, and the body that was found was indeed shot by the same pistol from only about a few feet away, you could say that maybe this third missing shot that this evidence says exists might be the one that actually killed the victim. Because we already have the 2 shots documented within the testimony today. The first one that was heard on the shot, which ended up creating the photograph, and then we have the second shot that was fired from the gun before the shooter ended up falling out of the boat. And then finally, we have a third shot, which is completely unaccounted for. We should try to find out what happened to this third shot, so maybe we can determine how the body exactly got killed. Mr. Von Karma, are you sure of the accuracy of your data? Of course. I had already considered the possibility of suicide, you see. Okay, so this has been updated. Time of death sometime on the 24th or 25th. Shot from approximately 1 meter away. I see. Very well. Allow me to state my opinion. Considering the situation, the shooter had to be the defendant, Mr. Edgeworth. However, the prints on the gun reveal that the shooter was not Mr. Edgeworth. This is a conundrum. Therefore, I would like to suspend proceedings for this trial for the day. The court orders the defense and the prosecution to further investigate this matter. Understood. Yes, Your Honor. That is all. This court is adjourned. I win round 1, Dracula. December 26, 1:15 p.m. District Court, Defendant Lobby Number 2. That was a close one. Hey, don't you have anything to say? No. I've yet to be declared innocent, Wright. Well, yeah, but what happened out there on that lake anyway? If he didn't commit suicide, then who? The shooter was about a meter away, too. What? Don't give me that look. I did not kill him. I was just kidding around. Look, I'm going to go check on Maya. Oh, right. What? Tell her someone for me. What? Tell her to watch what she says in court. That's all. Would it kill you to just state how you really feel with a thanks, Edgeworth? It's okay, I can translate for him. I requisitioned the transcript of Lotta's entire testimony. I thought it might give me some ammunition for the trial tomorrow. Of course, she didn't see the shooter, so the only part of her testimony that stood was the bang she heard. Okay, Lotta's description. I heard 2 sounds like gunshots just after midnight on the 25th. To be continued. Okay, we managed to make it through the first trial day, and later we're going to do our second investigation. I'm going to save that for the next episode. I hope you guys enjoyed this latest episode of Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney. If you did and you want to see more content from me, feel free to subscribe to my channel. I will see you all next time for my next investigation. Take care.